There is no question that even with the occasional pullbacks that we're going to see, there are two metals that are performing quite well above the other precious metals, and that is silver and platinum. Yes, indeed. I'm going to talk about both of these metals and why they should be on your radar, as all signs are pointing in their direction, and that is up. Let's talk about it as we explore. Speaking of pullbacks, that's the time to shop around for good deals and good bullion dealers. And yes, I encourage you to develop a relationship with your local coin shop, no question about that. But also look around and compare prices and service online. And the channel sponsor here is Summit Metals, and they have proven themselves with one of the fastest growing bullion dealers on the planet right now. So check them out as you're shopping around at summitmetals.com. Now, silver and platinum, both these metals have gotten the attention of enthusiasts in the precious metal space. Platinum, not as much on this channel. Those videos don't get watched nearly as much, but I have been a platinum bull for a long time. And we know there's people like Niels Han Dynasty who are big fans of platinum and silver, as well as coins A to Z. There's a handful of you I can name. There's others likely, but those two names stick out the most. But nonetheless, let's talk a little bit about silver first, because there's a lot more silver stackers out there. And we are pretty happy right now, no question about that. Will the gold sector often commands the spotlight in a strong precious metals market. A compelling case is now being made for its industrial counterpart, silver. And that is part of what this is about, is understanding the difference between the two metals. They're more different now than ever before in terms of their uses. Silver is the most diverse metal on the planet. There's no other metal that compares. There may be other metals that are used more often in their components, but silver is the most diverse. 10,000 uses. As gold trades near its all-time highs, many investors are asking a critical question. Could the silver sector, with its unique and dynamic fundamentals, offer a more explosive upside potential in this current environment? There's a potential mix of factors, from surging demand for green technology to shifting central bank policy is creating essentially a bullish case for silver, suggesting its recent run may have room to grow. And I believe that as well, too. And that's according to Jeffrey Neal Johnson at MarketBeat. I believe that as well, so much so that I have updated my forecast when silver's price did reach my original forecast for this year of $36 a troy ounce. And by the time you see this video, it very well may have fallen just below that, as the market has taken a little bit of a downturn, which is typical for Fridays, by the way. We see that Friday smackdown. But nonetheless, now I've just revised my forecast for 2025 for silver to increase to $39 per troy ounce. And right now, that's over $3 away. Will we get there? Maybe not. But I'm going to tell you why I'm bullish on it overall, even if my predictions aren't as optimistic as others are out there. The current bullish argument for silver rests on several powerful and interconnected pillars. Unlike gold, where investment and jewelry demand dominate, silver has a dual identity that makes it essential in the modern economy. And you've heard me talk about that before on this channel. We know that it is seen more as an industrial workhorse. Over half of all annual silver consumption is attributed to its industrial applications, directly tying its value to global economic output and technological innovation. It is a critical and often non-substitutable component in high-growth sectors, including the photovoltaic cells that power solar panels and the complex electronics within EVs, those are electric vehicles. This direct link to the global energy transition provides a powerful and long-term demand driver that essentially has replaced the photography sector, which dominated it in the last century. Second is the market in grappling with a fundamental imbalance. The silver market is subjected to be in its fifth consecutive year of structural supply deficits. The situation occurs when global demand consistently outstrips new supply from mining and recycling. This persistent shortfall creates strong underlying price support and can lead to amplified price gains when investment demand also accelerates. The favorable macroeconomic trends are providing another boost. At its June 18th meeting, the Federal Reserve held steady its interest rates but signaled two potential rate cuts for later in 2025. Lower interest rates are typically good for silver, just as they are good for gold. And that those rate cuts are likely going to be about a half a percentage point, with 2 quarter-point drops coming down the pike. Because, it's one of those things where it's all about the dollar and the strength of the dollar. They want to prop up the dollar as best they can. Yea, though, it is a losing proposition by design. Losing 2% per year, they're okay with that. It's higher than that right now. We're still in an inflationary environment, no question about it, because there's a lot of these floating around. And that's not going to change anytime soon, even if it goes back to 2%. Silver, though, over the long course of time, yes, believe it or not, it will protect you from inflation. And I would be saying that even if the price of silver this year has not far outperformed inflation, and indeed it has. But they reduce the opportunity cost, and that's essentially what it does for silver. And so we've seen that the policy pivot is complemented by a general downtrend that we've seen for the dollar, which makes dollar-denominated silver cheaper for foreign buyers and adds another layer of demand. And there is the relative value argument, and we've talked about that before, the gold to silver ratio. I recently did a video about that, which measures how many ounces of silver it takes to buy 1 ounce of gold. It remains above historic averages. To some analysts, this suggests that silver may still be undervalued relative to its more famous counterpart, giving it more room to run in a precious bull market. Central banks, they accumulate gold. They don't accumulate silver yet, save for Russia. We talked about that too. And other central banks may be taking notice. So even if a few of them catch on, a new trend could develop there. What they're not going to do, I can almost guarantee you this, save for Russia, they're talking about adding a little bit of platinum to their reserves as well. But I don't know that they're going to do that in other nations. Platinum really is more of an industrial metal, but it is intriguing, and it has been on a wild ride, far outperforming silver and gold this year. Platinum leapt to a new 10-year high, and palladium also jumped. And of course, it did see a pullback today as I record this video, but the dollar sank on weak economic data and rumors that President Trump is about to maybe thinking about replacing Federal Reserve Chair through back channels. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I kind of doubt it, but we'll see here. But we're seeing a recent surge in Chinese investment in jewelry. Replacement is shifting a spotlight on platinum's supply deficit. Bloomberg quotes one investment fund provider's analyst repeating a trend identified by the mining backed by the World Platinum Investment Council that was reported on last month. While widely cited in an already tight fundamental market, says PGM expert Jonathan Butler, head of the business development and the precious metals division of the Japanese conglomerate Mitsubishi, Chinese physical demand is clearly not the only story in platinum, because platinum imports are 29% down in the first 5 months of this year compared to the same period in 2024. Shipment of platinum out of London and Zurich into the U.S. ahead of President Trump's Liberation Day announcement saw stockpiles in NYMEX approved warehouses rise almost fivefold, a move then rendered redundant by the White House exempting bullion from the new import charges. This led to a tight forward market conditions, according to Butler and Mitsubishi, with a deep backwardation across the curve, meaning that the shorter-term loans, such as one-month bullion lease rates, showed at record highs and they're more expensive than cost for longer-term borrowing. Flooding at South African platinum mines, a slow restart to mining in the first quarter, and inventory sales least last year have further added to the physical tightness. Though profit-taking is possible in the short term, this will continue to provide a supportive backdrop for platinum in the weeks ahead. And I fully agree with that analysis, which is why I'm bullish on platinum. And I tell you what, I'm glad that I made a purchase that I did recently for well under spot price. Platinum recently got over $1,400 a troy ounce. So this is something else. It doesn't take much for this metal to really just kind of shine here, even though, as you can see on your screen, it is actually technically duller than the metals you see here, but it has a certain allure to it, and it also is much more dense. There's no way to confuse these two metals by any stretch, but even upon look and weight and feel. But I do believe that these metals, both of them, are on a trend, on an upwards direction that I think is noticeable and likely going to be here for a while. Why? Because neither metal has really taken off at such a fast clip that it is bound for a correction of a magnitude that would just cause it to just a slam dunk both these metals. No, it's a real bull run we're seeing here, a slow, sustainable bull run that is really amazing. And maybe a bull run is not the way to think about it, because that expresses a fast-moving juggernaut. It has been a slower moving, maybe a bull moose run, maybe might be the case with this as the prices continue to rise. And this is a healthy one. This is one that you want to see slowly make its way up. I hear people talking about silver as based off of the 2011 run up. It is just 6-7 weeks away from reaching $50 again. Well, I hope it takes 12 weeks to get there, because if it does, then that means that likely we're on a sustainable path that is solidifying itself. When silver reaches $36 an ounce and stays there for most of the time, every single day that happens and it stays there, that provides new solid support. And so we may get there again and see it rise up. I can't tell you how many people have been saying that once it hits 35, it's just going to skyrocket from there. Well, that didn't happen. And it's actually a really good thing that it didn't happen. And the same could be said for platinum as well. Platinum has taken some pretty big hits. It got down over 5% drop the other day. It is a more volatile metal, but it's well above $1,000 an ounce. Even with these pullbacks, well above $1,100 an ounce. And right now it's above $1,200 an ounce, and it's above $1,300 an ounce. So, to see what I'm saying, it's about solidification, a slow, steady rise. And that's what we're seeing with both these metals. So that's why we should be paying attention to them and track and see how it goes. So there you have it, and that's what I do in this channel. So if you want the latest precious metal news and analysis, I hope you will consider subscribing to the channel and bookmarking the channel page. Also, pressing that notifications bell down below so that you can be apprised of the latest video that makes its way across your device. So with that, I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to watch, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.